Peace. What up, though? Hey, y'all, drop a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Hey, y'all, drop a one in the chat. Florida boy, what up, though? Feel like I ain't seen you in a while, family. In Jones, here they come. Engine gal in the building. Mid Nicky Jones, Trigger Man, City B, Tennessee in the building. Mary Jane. I can't say I'm in love with Mary Jane no more because she come to the event with her husband, and I don't want no trouble. Miss Mary in the building. It's the style for me. Chuck Cam in the building. Wild Card Indian. Chastity. How you doing, Miss Chastity? Where you from? Where you from, Miss Chastity? Oh, I think you from Georgia. We met. Didn't you come to the mounds with us? Miss Tamara in the building. Temp. Sky Blue. I'm a mind. Okay, he's smoking good gas. I need some of that. My bro, Lil Taj in the building. Nay, did. Yeah, Chastity. I recognize your ass. Nay, did. Texas in every way. We bringing them straight to your doorstep. Smoking. Texas in every way. Yeah. Man, I ain't fucking with y'all. I just want to know if y'all ready to turn up in this big. I just want to know if y'all ready to turn up in this big. What's up, BCU? Hey, let's get some flames in the building. Hey, we need some flames. YouTube, handle us, man. We need them lights up. We ain't even getting over 500 likes. Crazy work. You know, we should be at 7, 8. 100 at least. Get the likes up, man. Put something in the comments and let rock out. I've been wondering all day, trying to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. But I'm burning. My mind is running. All these thoughts are troubling. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life. Then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need. Right here. I need a bit right here. I need to spend my mind now. I really need, I need to spend my mind now. I really need my mind now. Oh, yeah. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me a love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way where you cannot see. Man with this system, you cannot break. I need to find
what up?
All these times I need to give up my bed. I need to be on my mind. Running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need right now. I really need What you need? I need to free my mind out. She said she needs to free her mind. Y'all good out there, man? Y'all ready to rock this bitch out? It is Saturday. Y'all got church in the morning. Let's go. I just want to let you know that
it's something about the way she moves. I can't figure it out. It's something about her.
What up?
It's something about kind of woman that wants you, but
don't hurt nobody.
I can't figure it out.
Hey, baby, what up, bro?
Cause she walk like the boss, talk like the boss, make you a dance or something pedicure ball.
Hey.
She's fly effortlessly. She move like a boss, do what a boss do. She got me thinking about getting it all. That's the kind of girl I need.
What?
She got her own thing. That's why I love her. It's independent. Won't you come and spend a little time? She got her own thing. That's why I love her. It's independent. Ooh, the way you shine. It's independent.
Hold up.
Ooh, there's something about kind of woman that can do it for herself. I look at her and it makes me proud. There's something about her. Something oh so sexy about kind of woman that don't even need my help. She said she got it, you got it. Something about her. Cause she work like a boss, play like a boss. Car and a crib, she got to pay them both off. And the bills are paid on time. She made for a boss, only a boss. Say baby, she telling them to get off.
Yeah, what?
That's the girl that's on my mind.
Hey.
She got her own
What's
game.
up,
That's
BCU?
why I love her. It's independent. Won't you come and spend a little time? She got her own thing. That's why I love her. It's independent. Ooh, the way you shine. It's independent.
That nigga say, ooh, the way you shine. Ooh, the way you shine. It's something about her. That you shining like a diamond.
It's not enough. You bitch that'll really step, but it's not
Hey,
enough.
hey,
Say you
hey,
bitch did myself,
hey,
but it's not
hey,
enough.
hey.
I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah,
Let
somebody
go.
gotta do it. I change the G pad. Yeah, watch
How
me
the nigga do it?
We survive
Nah,
outside from the music, nigga. What?
Are we?
They got
Everybody
it
know.
on.
This is Alpha and Omega, bitch. Welcome home. This is not a
Out of
song.
song.
This is a revelation.
How
I
to
ain't
get
get
it
a
nigga
nigga
on.
Need you a man, baby. I don't understand, baby. Pay your bill and make you feel protected like I can, baby. Teach you something if you need correction. That's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby.
It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that'll really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough.
I get on their ass. Yeah,
Yes,
somebody
somebody
gotta
gotta
do
do
it.
it.
I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody
Somebody
gotta
gotta
do
do
it.
it.
I change the G pad. Yeah,
How
watch
the
me
nigga
do
do
it.
it?
We survive
Outside,
outside
from
from the music, nigga. What? Turn this TV off. Ain't with my type of activities, and don't you get involved. Hey,
Nah.
many shit I seen, send them off. Take a risk or take a trip. You know I'm tripping for my dog. Who you with? Couple sergeants and lieutenants for the get back. This revolution been televised. I fell through with the knickknacks. Hey, yo, nigga, get your chili up. Yeah, I meant that. Hey, black out if they act out.
Yeah,
I
we
get
get
that.
that.
Hey,
Hey,
what's up,
what's
though?
up,
I hate
though?
a bitch that's hating on the bitch and they both hoes. I hate a nigga hating on them niggas and they
They
both
both
broke.
broke.
If you ain't
They
coming for no chili, where you come from?
Oh,
Nigga feel like he entitled cause he knew me since a kid. Bitch, I cut my granny off and she don't see it how I see it. Got a big mouth, but he lack big ideas. Send him to the moon. That is how I feel. Yeah,
you are.
it's not
Not
enough.
enough.
Few solid niggas left, but
But
it's not
it's not
enough.
enough.
Few bitches that'll really step, but
But
it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough.
Hold on. There's a stranger in my house. Took a while to figure out. We got a stranger in the building. Misunderstood. Yeah, I understand you. See, what's up, stranger? Hey, old friend. Good to see you. Get what I know. This for you.
Really sure that our love that lasted for so long. Still,
Misunderstood.
really care. Hey, let's talk about the distractions going on elsewhere.
Hey. What we doing though? Nigga, young. They're not enough. What up, though? What up, though, man? Tapping in. Y'all better go tell a friend that we tapping in, man. It's going down. Misunderstood, pulled up. I don't want no handshake the ways. I want a hug. Yeah, I want a hug. You been gone that long. You come back with handshakes. I want a hug. Okay. How you doing? The son said, let the three kings walk the land and give a report to the people. The son, who are the three kings? I think that's what interests me. Who might those three kings be? TB2 Live in the house. Hey man, y'all go check out historical indigenous sites on Instagram. Bro just did a cold move, especially for Texas. You know what I'm saying? When the Cherokees got the Texas chief bows. So I played this old tape of my auntie, and she telling me about the bows and how they came. But what they did was they ended up changing the spelling of the name. And they had different tribes. And they had these stones with them on there. Indian burial sites, they didn't bury with tombstones. You know, it'll be a rock. You feel me? And you'll follow a map. 6 steps here, you turn right 3 steps. All of this, these are the type of things you gotta do. So nah man, y'all go check out the homie, man. That was a cold post. I had to let him know, man. Always working, man. One of the hardest working men in the game. Without a doubt. We gonna jump in early, man. I was checking out before we jump into this Royal Rumble. I was checking out Rod Hayes, and he said something, and I took it right back to, you know, what we got going on over here for as Fade Day. And man, y'all ain't got y'all tickets what y'all waiting on. I mean, them bitches can sell out. You feel me? I'm gonna say that, man, where am I joining it? Let me get all this shit down I don't need. All this shit I don't need down. All right, y'all, hold on. I gotta go grab. Oh, here you go, right here. I'm thugging. All right, let's get active. So we just gonna go through. I just want y'all to hear just, you know, we just gonna catch the beginning on what he was saying. He speaks about event that's approaching.
1930s.
Listen, that's that set that you were seeing was a movie set, and the movie set was popularized on those Moses movies and the biblical movies that they was producing in the 40s and the 50s. The only reason why you know that difference between the Giza Plateau and that replica they
is back on with some more banging information and
be exposed sooner or later, more sooner than later. This is coming to an end. We looking at all of this stuff. They got countdowns to alien invasions going on. They got weather anomalies, earthquakes, and everything going on. Got spaceships parked by the moon going on. They got spaceships coming from deep space going on. They got government infiltrating itself going on, right? So it's all a big cluster of events all rolled together. Individually, they each tell a different piece of the story, but when you put them all together, you get the panoramic view that something huge is on the horizon. and you can see it creeping his head like the sun in the early morning over the horizon. There's something coming up. And this is what they call event horizon. It's right before the event, you start seeing the effects of the coming event play.
All right, when he's saying events, yeah, there are multiple events like he was speaking about. Some catastrophes, but I feel the energy of another event coming. Because see, even with the chaos, on the other side of the chaos, even with rain, you know, the sun still comes out and dries up all the rain. So I hear the OG speaking about these events that are to come, and they may not be positive or in our best interest. But that same energy that people who are, let's say, writing the X's and O's, who bringing the information, who's making these predictions, or who's warning us, quote unquote, or people that's in control to manipulate things such as weather, propaganda, people mental, and how niggas view the world. On the other side of it, now that energy is for anybody who understands that they can tap in as well. All is one. And at BCU is one for all, nigga. So that event that he's talking about is November 2011-22. When the stars align. You got two master numbers coming together. That's a major portal. When I spoke with the person at the event, they asked how many people would be there. So I don't know. And I gave a number, and they touched me on the shoulder. Said, "Nah, son, I think we're gonna need more space."
Out in the stars, the zodiac signs, and the numerology, and the gematria, the public spectacles, the political satire out of Washington, the Hollywood parodies and central casting out of Hollywood, Los Angeles, the city of angels, right? So we watching all of this stuff happen, but we only used to seeing small pieces at a time. So we won't never look to put the bigger puzzle together with the small pieces we see. So we about to get on into it. Elder, you can roll the corner and we get started and let's see what we're going to talk about. This is the Young Elder production. Thank you for your time, energy, and effort in showing up to this glimpse into the future.
Appreciate you riding Delta.
Thank you for flying Delta, man. Buckle your seatbelts. This is about to be.
You got anatomy in the same writing that you got trigonometry and geometry in the form of an artistic work called a painting. Right? So when you looking at Bess, we talking the amygdala. When you're looking at Horus, we talking about the base of the spine, the pons region. Right? And so forth and so on. They all got a different part of the body they represent as the parts in the construction of the grand man.
Hey, so this next question, on the last tape, I heard you say something about King Tut's tomb. I also heard Hakeem Bey say something about it. And I found 2 interesting clips that go along with what you were saying about King Tut's tomb. I'm gonna play those clips, and then maybe you could give analogies on what they said with the back and.
I think one of these days I'll come out and get y'all what I know. I gave a little piece in Bloodlines Let It Go at 5. But let's walk.
What you said on the last class. All right, so here's this first guy.
In this cave over in southern Illinois,
You ain't gotta
the
tell me. I know
remains
you
of
do.
the ancient Sun Kings. There's no question about that now. We know who they are. The question of how they got there is something else again, until you think about it. You know, the rivers used to be the interstate highways. And I'm putting you into the area where this cave is, all right? You have the Mississippi River north to the Ohio River, to the Wabash River, to the Little Wabash River, to Skillet Fork. And at a certain place on the banks of Skillet Fork, you're within a quarter mile of this cave. In the 7th century BC, well, my goodness, everyone knows that there were no seafaring people. How could they get from Africa or somewhere to the United States? That's what a lot of people will tell you. There was people called the Phoenicians. I want to tell you what, the Phoenicians had some big ships.
Come on, man. They did what? The who? People called the Phoenician. Y'all might know them as the Olmec. Bars.
They're biremes and they're triremes.
And y'all ain't seen Bloodlines Let It Go 1 through 5. Did we walk this shit down? 1 through 5
were very large ships. Back at this period of time, of course, the Mississippi ran by the place now called Poverty Point. At Poverty Point, Louisiana, there is residue left yet from stockpiles of native ore, copper, which had been transported down
from Wisconsin. I haven't seen this part in the video, but it's in Bloodlines of the Gods.
the Mississippi River from somewhere.
Somewhere? He don't know. Wisconsin, the Great Lakes. Check. The Great Lakes. Where did they go when they left Poverty Point? They went and built the most highly civilization in Europe. And we know them as the Minoans.
What they were doing, of course, is transporting this ore back into Egypt or wherever, and they're making bronze.
So if we could probably ask a couple questions. Now, this guy said that the Phoenicians, we know that's the Watutsis, and that they was over here already. And he said, he asked them how they get here from Africa. And we've been saying that these people, they come from Africa, they was already over here. And they saying that this go back almost 30,000 years. Because I got more clips that go along, and this lady gonna go talk about the King Tut part. So why they covering this up? How is they covering this up about these people who they say as Africans was already over here?
Look, they're not covering it up.
Go ahead.
The story they discovering it in real time. America has not been under the archaeological, anthropological scrutiny that the rest of the world been through. So they have to tie everything into the out of Africa theory because that's their point of origin. They starting with the idea and the concept that everybody started in Africa.
And that didn't come into 1985, 1987. Who coined the term mound builder? Have anybody ever asked that question? The Hopewell culture, the Adena, Eastern Woodlands. That's 20th century. If they search for the mound builders, that take you back into Freemasonry. The Masons. How did they know what caves? How did they know what mounds? How did they find their way there? You think a European watched the shore and an Indian nigga walked them to it? Or would these be the most highly guarded places? Because none of them sat on the water. These are, you would have to get off the ports and actually, so when we look at Ohio, yeah, you have streams, rivers come through there that connect these highways, trade routes. But in the interior is where you find these underground worlds. It's not talked about. Like Mammoth Cave, over 400 miles. And they found catacomb mummies. So is it Peru? Or do they highlight Peru? Because ain't number white folks buying tickets in Kentucky. Niggas ain't coming out. Young Elder right there, that's Till walking. I had the privilege to walk. In the background there is the Pyramid of the Sun. Where he sits is the Pyramid of the Moon. To the right of him, Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl.
Therefore, that means that if it was somebody over here, they had to come from Africa. Because when you get back past 8,400 years, everybody melanated with nappy hair. Right? So now the justification is everybody melanated with nappy hair is African. But they all come from the land that they own originally. Right? They want to give you the idea that a man and one woman made all the people on the earth. That's ridiculous. Right? It was tribes all over the earth. They all emerged. Right? But we have to follow the Darwinian knuckle walking philosophy of turning from a gorilla into a human or a chimpanzee into a human. That's ridiculous. Right? But because we don't have the memory of what we are, who we are, then we're going to go with the most popular narrative because that's what the most people say is the narrative to follow. It don't make it true. All of the discoveries over here, most of them are under 150 years old because it was too much war going on to survey and dig up archaeological digs in the middle of the colonization process because we was fighting like a mofo.
Right.
All over the land. The only thing that stopped us is a truce, a ceasefire based on the Conjure War. Educate yourself about a condition in the end of 200 years. We'll see who can settle it then.
Right.
Wasn't no high chiefs when they came over here.
Get the lights up,
Everybody was a chief in training. All them great chiefs you read about in the history books that was fighting the colonizers, they was trainee chiefs. Wasn't no high chiefs. No, all of the real high chiefs was letting the other chiefs run the land. They got to get the practice.
Hey, get the likes up. We 40 likes short. You know, maybe some of y'all might don't know where y'all at. This is BCU. This is the heartbeat of the American paradigm. And if you're a guest, please do us an Indian favor and wipe your feet before you walk in our house.
So because all of the high chiefs was between lives, probably, right? They check out and then we get attacked. And the ones that's in the positions, they got to do the best they can with what they know, but they're not the best strategists we have. They're not the best warriors that we have. Right? So when we call in for a strategist, we need somebody that can unravel everything, tell us what the strategy is and what the remedy is. And based on what's going on, the system is going to eventually fold to the demands of the original people. They have to because it's law.
Mm-hmm.
It's galactic law that overrides universal law. This is the close of the age, and at the close of the age, we had to close all of the conjures. That's how they knew when John D told Queen Elizabeth about putting us into this hypnotic trance using the first blood of the righteous.
He mentioned John D. That probably went over a lot of people's head. I will refer you to Bloodlines of the God 1. The interactions with Queen Elizabeth, John D., when she was given her position as queen, the day was picked from star alignments for them to go into certain energies. John D. made those accommodations. John D. also assisted Francis Bacon. He had an order of Rosicrucian. But there were many orders before them. You even had the dragons. They brought a council together, all of the families who still preserve that bloodlines of the gods. But John D., he played a character on, what's the name? It was a famous movie. Man, is at the tip of my tongue. Harry Potter. The guy with the long white beard. Even though he was a nigga. You know, they portrayed him white enough. But John D., man, y'all go check out Bloodlines of the God 1. Y'all want to know more about that.
Crispus Attucks, first blood of the Revolutionary War, to put the people in the land in the slumber, then miseducate them. In come the Rockefeller Templar movement to disorient our mind from what part of the land we from by giving us this misdirection called Africa.
Right.
But we didn't call it Africa, and we've been dealing with them people and marrying them people for thousands of years before Europe was even fully developed. Now all of a sudden, there's no connection, and they brought us all over here from over there. But they don't got it in their oral histories about no mass exodus of people from Africa. So we know that's not true. Right? And they tell you in the with those slave things that they got put up on the coast for you to go visit where your ancestors left from.
The Ivory Coast.
They tell you when you go on tour over there, if you ask them, wasn't no pale faces in no motherfucking trade back then.
Yeah, the door to return.
There was all nappy hair, woolly hair Arabs that looked like any other Negro.
That they call Moors.
And they was calling themselves Jews. later. At the time, they was mariners, merchants of the high seas. This is how they developed the Uniform Commercial Code to enforce the jurisdiction of admiralty. And the only thing they had was to try to figure out how to apply the admiralty salvage rights to the land.
Yeah.
And they've been pillaging us ever since under the squatter right, under the salvage rights, right? And they've been using eminent domain in order to continue the search for more of the civilis mortis, the black folks, labeled dead, lost at sea.
Yeah.
Right? The reverse side of the coin is they talking about the stealth priests, the ones who we know is going to emerge on the land, but if we got to stop them, if we don't want them to reclaim their birthright, because all they have to do is put it in the public domain. And when enough people get a hold of understanding of what's taking place, then the changing of the guard takes place. And we there now.
They burned these. Anana mentioned something about her daughters being burned at the stake when they first came. And it's about around 150 years when they said that these people could come back.
You know what she's talking about when she said her daughters got burned when they first came? That was the gender war when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
The daughters of Isis, the daughters of Inanna, it depended on where the sacerdotal seat was, depending on which one of them, or the daughters of Kali, if it was the sacerdotal seat in India.
Yeah.
Right? If the sacerdotal seat was in Kemet, it's the daughters of Isis.
Isis. But the headquarters was right here in the Americas. Hatshepsut said her ancestors was from the land of Punt. The Natchez Indians worship the same goddess that Hatshepsut worship. Let y'all figure that out.
If it's in Babylon, it's the daughters of Inanna or Ishtar, depending on the era, right? Because it moved from one side of the Babylonian Empire to the other. So what we call Sin is a son of Enlil, Ninursin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the military strategist who wrote this 120 Degrees of Trigonometry, Yakub's story. How to usurp and undermine the people and how to confuse them using magic, politics, science as tools of war. Then they incorporated religion and entertainment into it, because if they can get the politics, of course, religion is only one step away from politics.
Right.
If you go back a couple 50, 60 years, the preachers had just as much power as an attorney. They used to be able to go in and get people out of jail for free.
Yeah, hey,
because they was clergy.
I just mentioned that on that last show. Y'all just seen we had gone to pick with the I mentioned it. Nigga, you don't send your lawyer around there, they'll shoot him dead. You know who can't go in that bitch though? The pastor. I need to talk to the sheriff. The homies be like, hey, we going with you. He's like, nah, I'll be right back. I need to talk to the sheriff.
Now the clergy ain't got no juice. They got all the money, ain't got none of the power. The only time that happens is when people sell out. They got all of the money and none of the power. They got mega churches full of people with all of the money and none of the power.
Right. and they teach prosperity. That's what their whole it was. They gave them, it's like a list they can preach about. So dude came out and made a comment about that, about the loans, that they only give certain people loans and to be part of that organization. Hey, but back before I go sideways,
they came through the Bush, second Bush, baby Bush. It's called FBI. Yeah, and you can go online and see if your pastor is signed up, because what LBJ did when he created the 501c3s and the churches running under these corporations, they didn't have to pay taxes. So instead of depending on your congregation, the government steps in and says, we're going to put you on a payroll. You no longer have to depend on your congregation. You will be loyal to me. Politics.
let me ask you one more question about the video we just watched. He also mentioned there that this was the son, that they found pharaohs buried there. This 3,000
Sun Kings.
Yeah, it says pharaohs. Go ahead.
So when they call them Sun Kings, they are. Remember what me saying before? Everybody, when they call somebody Sonny boy, son, they tell you he was born to be a chief.
Right.
Right. It's the same. It's the same underlying principle. Right. In Greek, it would be Helios.
Right.
Right. Which also means fire.
Right.
Where you get your idea of the doctrines of hell are those doctrines that overcomes the conjures of the Babylonian powers. So when we're talking about the power of the sun, we're talking about learning to adapt to the solar rays and use that solar energy for spiritual awakening. And then there's a way that the sun will tell you it's time to wake up. And we in that time now, and this is why they waiting on the great solar flash. Because he's going to give out a super flash that's going to make the earth orgasm. And everything that don't belong on here when she scream, out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So she going to squirt.
All right, this next one it goes more building around the King Tut thing, but that guy just was before, so he already verified that. Hey man, we've been finding stuff, but they go back 30. We don't even know how. We just say 30. It might be older, and it's Phoenicians and people already over here. So that's what he called them. That might not what they call themselves.
Yeah, the Phoenicians.
Now, Kylie. My granddaddy used to tell me only a hit dog holler. And that went over everybody's head. I said, the earth gonna squirt. And Kylie, what's going on? You all right? You doing all right? You ovulate? Let me look outside. Is it a full moon? What you ovulate? What you got going on over there?
Were seafaring Canaanites.
It is the weekend.
And they were some of the earliest versions that became later known as Blackamoors and Blackamoor Jews.
Man, they people was already over here. And it's funny how you just said that the sun, then you tied it in with fire, and then that ties in with the city of Aura, fire and aura. But that's another topic. But let me play this right here, part right here.
Okay. So you see this here, and they say that this is the Valley of the Kings. Y'all see that, right? Okay. Now we're gonna go here. They say the royal burial ground here, right? As the the third or somebody, people testing positive for testing positive.
Diagram of.
I'm gonna skip over that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Cause we gotta get out these books. It ain't like we gotta catch a 20-hour flight, which I have no problem doing. But for a nigga in Kentucky, in America, we need to get eyes on the target. It's not enough for us to flip through pages and go off of what man wrote. I always tell the story. A nigga came up here with a pseudo source and told me that King Solomon Temple was in Tulum, Mexico. And I got on the flight and I went. King Tut, Ramesses, all these people, Kentucky. Is there a cover up in Kentucky? Sure. But why we don't have boots on the ground? We no longer follow behind the writings. Off your ass on your feet, nigga. AI or none of this other shit ain't gonna save a nigga. We need to know. You don't get paid to think, nigga. You get paid to know.
Peace, peace. I'm legendary Big T TOPCATZ, represent Big T University, American Indian historian, and I'm the best that ever did it and got away with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, say.
All right, so after Raul reads the questions, you got 10 minutes for your presentation. When you got 1 minute and 30 seconds left, I'm gonna let you know you got 90 seconds left. I'm gonna give you a 30-second warning when it's 30 seconds left, and then I'm gonna yell time. As Lo said yesterday, when I yell time, it's a wrap. You can't keep going.
All right, so that's everybody on the team, James. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, question number 1. In this debate held this day in June, we in August, I think it's August 1st. Yeah, August 1st. In this discussion, debate, field, gather another information. The first question of Africa versus American Indian reads as such: are we from African origin or American Indian origin? Motherland / cradle of civilization. Brandon will be leading for Team Kemet.
All right, appreciate it. All right, pin the link at the top for your viewing.
Hey, how many times have I frontlined the battle? This day was all or nothing. Whoever wins had to take their doctrine off the table. How many times I done led the charge in battle on this? What's the date on this? We crushed many empires.
All right, that link is from an article in Newsweek from 1992, where it explains and talks about how researchers at the USC at Berkeley, they extracted the DNA from a 200,000-year-old African woman's skull from the Great Lakes region of Africa, which is in the area of
It's too much information, Dimple.
Down there in that area. And they took the DNA from that skull and cross-examined it with the DNA from some of the world's major ethnicities. They used 147 different pregnant women's placentas to help them conclude the study. And they cross-examined the DNA with the world's major ethnicities with the DNA of the African woman's skull, and the DNA for that woman's skull matched all the other ethnicities. All the other ethnicities, their DNA did not match with each other. So the researchers, the scientists at the USC at Berkeley concluded that either the cradle of civilization started in that region of Africa, or we all have a common ancestor in that region of Africa, which both means pretty much the same thing. Now, the second point I want to get to is that historically there are 6 major overall species of humans: the Homo rhodophysis, the Homo habilis, the Homo erectus, the Homo neanderthal, the Homo sapien, and the Homo floresiensis. I can't pronounce that word, but out of those 6 overall specimens of humans, of course, they all have subspecimens, and we all are a subspecimen of Homo sapiens, the Homo sapiens sapien. Now, according to the Cleveland Museum of Natural History,
Man, no, what do you do? Hey, get the lights up,
scientist and anthropologist Dr. Sheikh Antaziab, according to the Smithsonian Museum in DC, and many more. But scientists have only found, back then and now and present days, scientists have only found Homo sapiens in America only. I repeat, scientists have only found Homo sapiens in America only. All of the other major overall species of humans are all found collectively in Africa. Now, in other continents, you have a few in this continent, a few in that continent, but all of them collectively are only found on the continent of Africa. Now, another point that I want to get to is that North America is in the Arctic zone. The tropical zone is between the Tropic of Cancer, and the what's the other tropic? The Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, so between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, the equator is in the middle. That region right there is called the tropical zone. North America, most of North America is in the Arctic zone, and the Arctic zone is between, is above the Tropic of Cancer, the pole, and then you have the other one down below. Now, over 90% of Africa's mass is inside of the tropical zone. Now, neuromelanin, which is the melanin that we have, and we all will agree that Black people are the originators of everywhere, of everything. Now, neuromelanin forms when dopamine oxidizes presence of oxygen, and that can only occur when there's a certain temperature, when other tropical areas of Earth can produce that temperature. The only tropical area of Earth that can produce that temperature is the tropic zone between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, which over 90% of Africa is located, and most of America is not. So America gets freezing cold during certain months of the year, and in the cold weather, life form cannot sustain, in ancient times. And the last point I want to make, actually, that is the last point I'm going to make, and then I'm going to pass it to Brother Sakim.
Shout out to Brandon.
Thank you, Brother Brandon.
He's from Houston.
So where
hopefully he'll be at Fade.
Start from is when we look up or understand the term American Indian, it's a new paradigm and construct. It's not mentioned in etymological dictionaries yet, and it just started to make its way known.
Yeah.
On certain pieces of information.
Yeah.
And so when we start to say we're involved or we're a certain thing, we need to go to its roots. So because we're saying, are we, of African origin or American Indian origin, I would have to say that we're the aforementioned, because it would be the predecessor to what an American Indian is, just through the mere fact of definition. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Brother Jumbo.
Really, bro? That's it? That's all you was going to say, bro?
All right.
And he was a Moor, by the way.
From what you were saying, Brother Kemet, Native American, that terminology came about.
Okay, so they team derived Kemetic, B1, Moors, Pan-African, and a little splash of Hebrew. Now they brought all them nations together, all them doctrines together for the little old Indians. I had a spat. This guy came in out of Baltimore. He said, "Hey man, I need 5 good Indians." But I came thinking 2 of them to call. I said, "How many is it they bring?" They bringing 5. I need to get my 5. So we hollered one-on-one. He said, "Hey man, I said, let's go." He said, "We gotta find 4 more people." I said, "Nah, nigga, let's go. You got me. You telling me that it's 5 Pan-Africans over there, and we need 5. We need the numbers to be even. Nigga, this is what I do. Let's go." And when y'all go watch that battle, there's no other Indians there. And I was the last man standing. I ran them all off, one by one. And I had to tell the homie from BMO, told you we was good, nigga.
Out in 1960 for my research. And then furthermore, the word Indian came about in the 15th century. And Indian is to refer to people of the Indus River Valley, which is basically Hindu Kush. The brother was talking about the hominids and the ancient human artifacts that were found in the Rift Valley, and I do concur with that.
You do?
And I've read about the legacies, which were a group of Kenyans. They were British, but nevertheless, they had money. They were able to go out and excavate, and they did find all of those species that the brother mentioned. So my question is, what came first? Did the people on the continent come first, or did the people in the Americas come first?
The question should be an answer.
Was there a migration, or was there not a migration? That's another question. And I'm gonna.
Why are you asking questions in the debate? You should be bringing answers, solution, resolution. You have questions, which means your work is incomplete, which means you have no right to be here. You're a sacrificial goat, nigga. Get your ass out here on this battlefield and you can't fight, I'm gonna put a blade in you. Jaguar style.
Hand it over to whoever's next. And I'm gonna hand it over to whoever's next.
Let's work.
All right.
What are you doing?
He might be having oh crap. This is in Europe. I mean in his book. I can't read that form. But according to Dr. Sheikh Anta once Homo sapiens started to migrate through the Strait of Gibraltar into these American lands, that's when the Homo sapiens started to migrate over here. Now, that's why America only has the Homo sapiens 30 seconds species. And I'll yield. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Right, no, I'm good.
Now they got to go against TOPCATZ.
All right. It looks like the Kemetic team is warming up. I know it's hard being the first performer on the stage. Hey, but we got a great discussion for y'all tonight. The energy gonna crank up. Everybody
like
feeling themselves out. Now we're gonna go over to the team, American Indian. James, I'm gonna read the question, and then
they're supposed to be coming with the rebuttal.
Okay, we coming with the rebuttal?
Yeah, that's how local said.
Kemetic brothers, look, blow them candles out. Blow them candles out and get your swords. Okay?
Get your swords.
We in the battle right now. So I'm finna read it.
Swords.
All right. Africa versus American Indians. Number one, are we from African origin or American Indian origin? That's the question. Which one is the motherland / cradle of civilization? To my brother James.
Thank you, Raul. And to the room, thank you guys. But let's just keep it real. What we just heard was all the introduction.
I don't claim the blood, B. I drink it. Nah, I don't clean it. I drink it.
Amongst his team and our team, right? And we also heard just now what he's heard from 1992 research done in DNA. You also heard him talk about Arctic, zones and traveling. You also heard him talk about all of these distance travel and how he's got this research done by DNA. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go over how that can't be true. We're going to go over some of the chronological. We're going to go over some of the DNA debunking, and we're going to also go over just the age and the date is what he's talking about, and how possible is it for all of these folks to even travel, let alone come to America and handle even just the Southeast zone alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm just opening you guys up to understand that, number one, these are all stories and things that are carried out through other narratives, through other factions. Understand that. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the mic to my esteemed constituents, to my esteemed Indians. I'm going to go ahead and start this off with my divine feminine, actually. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let either Latasha hit this or in our closing, I just want to pity pat on just one of the other things that Brandon started his introduction with, because none of us really spoke about it. And that was probably intentional. He spent about 2 minutes and 32 seconds about the DNA. He spoke about all of the different Homo erectus, Homo sapiens,
all these Carolina areas and stuff. You're right about that. But you didn't finish informing the people of the story. They traced his the Y chromosome of his DNA back to West Africa, the Imbo people of West Africa. So there's that. And now y'all are caught on the numbers, the 200,000. I said the skull, the age of that skull is 200,000 years old. I didn't say the age of the people were. That's just the age of the skull. Now, Homo sapiens are even younger than that. And granted, if you remember back to when I started, I said that in America, only the Homo sapien human species has been found in America. Homo sapiens, which is what we are, is not even one of the original human species. It's a subgroup of the Homo sapiens, because our brain developed more and stuff. So there's that. So I just wanted to make sure the room know that about Mr. Perry. Yeah, that DNA is the oldest, according to them, in America, but they traced the Y chromosome from his DNA back to West Africa. Now, let me move on to, I think someone brought up the mound in Louisiana. Now, according to the National Park Service.gov, so this central entity, first off, all mounds are not man-made. Mounds are layers of earth that adds up, over time after a climatic weather change or et cetera, anything like that. Now with that mound, it's a mound that's filled with grass, and then it's sand and rock and layers and stuff after that. So knows if it's a original mound or a man-made mound. Now, even if it's let's just say hypothetically speaking, it's a man-made mound. All right, cool. I looked that up and on LSU's campus, that sign says that the mound is only 6,000 years old. Now, as I've stated numerous times in the room before, but if you didn't hear me state this before, you're in luck because I'm about to state it again. So now, if we, according to Albert Churchward, in one of his books called The Origin and Evolution of Religion, and this was from the 1800s, when he was interviewing the Dinka tribe in Africa. And if you don't know who the Dinka tribe are, right now they're currently most of them are in South Sudan, and they are some of the tallest people, the tallest and darkest people on this planet. They're blue-black, and they're extremely tall. When you hear a lot of talk about giants, like that movie Avatar was about the Dinka tribe. Now, the Dinka tribe, the Dinka tribe tells that there has been 10 star constellations since the building of the Pyramid of Giza. Now, if you don't know what a star constellation is, a star constellation is the formation of the stars, the patterns that the stars make in the sky, pretty much. And every day the patterns of the stars they form a different pattern. And according to our terminology that we use to tell time, one constellation takes 5,850 years to pass. So that means it takes 25,850 years in order for the same pattern of star alignment to appear in the sky. And those things are only visible along the Nile Valley area. Now, the Dinka tribe says that there have been 10 constellations that have passed since the building of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, if you multiply 25,850 by 10, that gives you 200.
He used this source the other day.
So that's the amount of time that has passed since the building of the Great Pyramid of Giza, according to the Dinka tribe. And the Dinka tribe, if you look them up, they're a tribe in Africa. They cut lines all the way across their face in Africa. It's a spiritual ceremony that represents the men and the women make their transition into woman and manhood. They're the only tribe in Africa that cut the lines all the way across. A lot of tribes cut lines on their faces, but none of them are all the way across. If you look up an image of the Heramakhet, aka the Sphinx, I like to use the original terms, but you see the face of the Heramakhet has lines all the way across, as they left, some of their marks to show who was responsible for building these things. So I wanted to let that be known about the age of it versus the 6,000 years of the mound in LSU that it says on the sign that's right next to it that people are talking about. And again, according to that governmental website, all mounds are not man-made. If anyone else on the team, does anyone else have anything that they would like to share, rebut in response to something that someone else said?
I'm good on this topic.
All right. Well,
okay.
Hey,
real quick for Brandon.
Wait, hold on. No, hey, we still got time. I'm about to talk about some more stuff then.
Yeah.
If none of my teammates want to say something or elaborate on anything they heard. So now, according to a lot of things, but I'm gonna just list one. There's a book titled Aztec and the Maya, the greatest civilization of ancient Central America, with 1,000 photographs, pictures, and maps. It's written by Dr. David M. Jones. Now, on one of the timelines on his maps, he have first 7,000 through 500 BCE is when the Mesoamerican settlers settled and started to develop farming skills. And he's talking about the Olmecs. Now, the Olmecs, that name comes from the Aztec tribe. That they used to call them Olmecans. And the English translation for it is Olmecs, and it means people with the rubber, the people from the land of rubber. Now, the land of rubber, they're talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and the Kenyan areas along the Nile Valley River. That's where the Olmecs came from. The Olmecs first migrated and went to the Eurasian lands, and then they came over here and brought that polluted seed. It's something that someone mentioned too. I should have wrote this down that I wanted to touch on. But yeah, so but I'll just continue with the Olmecs. So, and also there's numerous evidence of Kemet having ships. They're all over the temples in Kemet. Some I laid eyes on myself when I was in Kemet. And a lot of the pharaohs were buried with a lot of the images of the ship as well. Now, there was a pharaoh by the name of Pharaoh Necho, and Herodotus, which was one of the Greek historians, writes about how Pharaoh Necho sent some Kemetic sailors along with some Phoenician sailors.
90 seconds.
All right. He sent some Kemetic sailors along with some Phoenician sailors to circumnavigate the area. And it took them 3 years, and they circumnavigated the area, and all of them returned and reported about things that, that they had found in places that they had been. So, all of that information, shows us that in Africa, in Kemet, in Africa, they were traveling to other areas and stuff. So they already knew about the other land masses and stuff that were present. If we talk about Pangea, when everything was connected or not, when the continental drifts started to take place. And lastly, we have to go to, I'm going to save that one for the next round. I was just budding things that people said.
30 seconds.
I'm cool.
Brandon, one-man army in the building. Salute. Okay, team American Indian. Whenever y'all start, double gonna run the clock.
Is
All
this
right,
a rebuttal?
Yeah, this is a rebuttal. I would love to touch bases on a few things. Let's go ahead and talk on the most recent thing he said, which was the rubber people, or the Olmecs, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Is there anyone that wants to speak about that on the team?
Yes. Okay. So rubber is actually something that is found in the Americas. If you look at the history of rubber, the French explorer Charles Marie de la Condamine in 1745 reported that South American Indians used rubber for footwear and bottles. And also by 1910, Asian rubber plantations had sent seeds from the Amazon basin to Asia. So rubber was already in America. And then also, if the Olmecs came from the Congo and other parts of Africa, why aren't there Olmec kids found in these places?
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, so what we just pretty much listened to, guys, is a bunch of stories, but none of them connects you, or how are you connected to these things? But when you start looking at the origins of these particular things, like brother just start talking about, how could this be, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and keep passing it on down. And when we get down to about the 3 to 4 minutes, I wanna go ahead and close it with something as well. Go ahead and ping some stuff, change some PTRs. Is there anyone else coming down the list on the Indian crew? Anybody else want to build on what Brandon was talking
Yes, I wanted to talk about the people that are in Cameroon that match Albert Perry's DNA. How old was their DNA measured at? The people from Cameroon.
All right, I want to also add to that. All right, I want to also add to that too. You know, he said that the DNA matched with Cameroonians. First off, I want to say this: when they found Albert Perry's DNA, it pushed back the time frame of the out of Africa theory. What it did was it crushed them. So they already came out and publicly got embarrassed. So they went back and they said that they found in Shum over there in the area over there, they found some children, right? Found some bones of some children, right? Who were thousands of years apart. And so they said that they shared the same DNA. The problem is that Albert Perry was found in America. The out of Africa theory, they say that he walked from Africa to America, and then we find him in America, which crushes the out of Africa theory. Then they turn around and try to say he was a slave, transatlantic slave descendant, and now they come back with this. Ghost populations of humans discovered in ancient Africa. Ghost populations. Meaning something that they didn't even understand or exist. They have no connection to these ghost populations. Because the truth is, when they got there, Cameroon was unoccupied for a while. And so this is another way that they write over your story when they come play DNA and science with you. Notice you don't have no ancestors or no ties. This is the problem right now. This is why most people don't have connections with their families. This is why they know nothing about who they are. This is why they have to take these and accept these doctrines from these missionary workers in the name of science. Every doctrine out there, from Pan-African to the Hebrews use religion. They're using religion or they're using science. And so the Pan-African uses science because his story is directly tied to colonization and to directly tied to the colonization and the colonizers, because they told you that a white man did this to you, but tonight we're going to show you that it was actually people who look just like you who actually put you in this situation today. And that's why they sent their missionary workers, aka the master teachers of the Pan-African paradigm, to come and teach you guys away from your family and to follow this science. And we're going to talk about that, some of that tonight.
Let's work.
I love it. Anyone else before I finish this thing up here?
Can I add about the mounds? We have Coy, Illinois as the oldest.
That's why we were so cold and spoiled.
They just
in America. They also played them in Cahokia, since they spoke about Cahokia. You also played them down in the Appalachians, the Mississippi ball games down there, as far as where they get baseball. Geechee still practice that down there. That's why throughout the
leads to her actual answer of the question.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Absolutely.
Damn,
why don't you ask the question again that Phoenix posed? Because I thought this was rebuttals and you gave an answer. So if you good now.
Okay. You got 2 minutes, y'all, since we fucked y'all time up a couple times. Go ahead.
Y'all fucked our time up, huh? I'm about to fuck one of you niggas.
That's it right there. We'll rest our
right, so I'm gonna go ahead and.
Oh, okay, my bad. My bad. Turn up.
What do you say? To get this information, and we're gonna compare and contrast, and let you guys decide.
Darwin theory, and the scientists are made up of white and black people. All right, now, dang. So when we talk about Mr. Gray and stuff, Big and y'all was, I don't know why Cameroon came up. I never said anything about Cameroon. That's actually some of y'all that brought up Cameroon.
I said it traced back to West Africa. I didn't say anything about Cameroon. And last but not least, man, docs me down. But yeah, I think that's what I can remember to rebut off the top of my head as my doc come back up, because I wrote down what I wanted to rebut to. But if anybody on my team wants to, have something that they want to rebut to, please do so.
Well, I wanted to say about the West African connection with the Olmec. That came later on in history, prior to those Americans traveling east, about maybe 10 to 15,000 years ago. So when you hear stories about West Africans being Olmecs, that connection came because those Americans that went over to Africa came back home. I land my plane.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Olmecs.
Was that a point for us?
Damn, yeah.
So here out of America more
as well, and along the Nile Valley where they came. But there's 3 currents that leads from the coast of West Africa to the
time.
Hey, y'all get the lights up. We lacking heavy on the lights. We lacking on the lights. Get the lights up.
Oh no, it's y'all got y'all. Never mind. Y'all got y'all response.
Right, Marcus Hudson. He don't know. Don't worry about it. He don't know. Don't worry about it.
James, you ready? Electoral college. It was just a simple Google search. And the Oklahoma thing you're talking about, because it's the oil capital of the world. That's just a slogan for a company that's located in Oklahoma. Actually, I looked it up. Oklahoma ranks number 606 as far as producing oil in the world. And James, you mentioned all I'm talking about is science and other things and stuff. All right, so if we're not talking about science, then what are we talking about? And also, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, the oldest American genealogy has been traced back to just the 1600s. So we're talking about the origin of humanity, of humans. That's what I'm talking about. And everything I've presented is just time, brother.
It's bull crap.
Bell run. Bell said, shut that bullshit up.
Oh, James.
Can I ask you guys something?
The TOPCATZ.
Hold on. Y'all I know.
That's still part of science, your intuition. That's who you are on the inside that no one else can see, that you intuit from the great cosmic of all, okay? And then we were talking about Brother Jamu threw out the oldest tribe, where you can just go to oldest.org to see what the oldest of everything is. And I think where I checked, it's there. And you can find it in any anthropological journal. You always have to make new strides in science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Nothing stays the same. Everything is constant. That's a law of physics. So nothing is going to stay the same even as we speak right now. So for you to make those kind of conjectures saying, learn. That's correct.
Man, y'all tell him who the oldest is.
It's on you guys.
What's up, bro?
Okay, the American Indians. Okay, so just to add to what
words, kind of like what we're doing right now. So everybody's talking their SHIT. So when you understand the root of words, you can get back to the derivatives. So from Moors to Indians explains to you in details that these so-called Indians that you all are claiming to be on the land is actually Moors. Okay, that's just bar none. You go read the book. It's in the Journal of the Louisiana Journal of Historical Association. You can go find that book and you can read it. It's going to tell you about the Moorish dance and everything else, where you have the jewelry and the jingles on your ankles. That's the time, brother. In your okay.
Now, come on, hold on. I got a source up. I
would like Big Chief to rebuttal that particular insert that he did.
Okay.
Even though I thought he was giving a rebuttal as to the number, but go ahead, please, Chief.
All right. I'll work easy work. We'll close the show on that. Right here in resolution number 75, it states that in the House of Representatives.
That nigga said we're gonna close the show on that. Let me just go on knock him out. Fuck that shit. Hold on. Anybody got something, man? Hey, y'all back up right quick, fam. I won't be chief on this. Yeah, I'll work either way. We finna go ahead and knock us out. Period. You thug.
April 17, 1933, sons and daughters, proud, handsome race, which inspired architect in North Africa, carried into Spain, right? In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who found here the end of their quest for a home out of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. Moors are not from America, bro. They're from Africa, Morocco. Even in your Circle 7 Quran on the first page, Noble Drew Ali, Noble Drew Ali tells you that the Moors are from West Africa, brother. I close on that. The Moors are not from America.
Brother, I would like to rebut
We
that.
said Africa.
Bro, we're not going back and forth with sources with primaries.
One last one, brother.
We're not going back and forth with primaries, brother.
We can't, bro.
Yo. This is not a back and forth.
Y'all come get that nigga and get him out of here.
The next one.
Yeah, that's how you do that.
Do this debate, I mean, we'll get a space, I mean, to continue.
I'll work easy words, pal.
What he said. Can I give you one reference? I ain't gonna go.
No, sir, brother. We're moving on.
No.
Oh,
next question.
That was frustrating, TOPCATZ. Make him headbutt you like Canelo had to do Crawford. They frustrated.
Nigga want his lick back, bro. You gotta let me get it back, bro.
I want to hear this scholarship.
You gotta let me get him back, bro.
So just to make it clear, also, you guys can't jump in during someone else's time, even if they're done talking. It's still their time. Until that time is over, the other team can't interrupt.
No problem.
Next question.
Let's go.
Next question, and we gonna stay with who starts first, or can it alternate since Brandon went first? Does it alternate on this?
Yeah,
question?
right. We can get it. We can get that.
I don't think it should
alternate. I think it should alternate too.
It's cool. We ready?
Okay, James.
Nah, it's cool. We ready. We'll take it. We'll take it out. Work easy work.
All right,
come on, let's rock. What they talking about?
Thank you, team over there. Thank you, bro. So the second question up: should we identify with Kemetic or American Indian tradition? What should be more important to us?
Peace. Appreciate that question. Before we get started, I want to while we started real quickly, everybody that's on Team American Indian, can y'all state y'all nations that y'all are from?
Monkey. Choctaw. Scaroni Tuscarora.
Piscataway.
And I'm from the Kasadi Nation. We're from a nation. We're from a people who had their own origin stories, traditions, cultures, and history here that starts in Americas. The importance of that, how do we find it out? We didn't read a book. There's no book to tell you who you are. So all of these people that have came to you have brought you a book or a doctrine.
You put it at the beginning of the hook. It should be at the end of the hook. It should be there.
Every one of these people come and brought you a doctrine. Kemetic science is a doctrine, okay, which was created in the 1800s. All right, we're white people. White folks gave you Kemetic science, and they paid your black master teachers to come as missionaries to goddamn promote this to people, and got a lot of people disconnected from their family. Well, with family history, my family fought in the Revolutionary War. We fought in the French and Indian War. They also fought in the Creek Civil Wars in 1812, which led into the what they're called today the Seminole Wars. And my ancestor Osceola fought in that legendary American Indian who fought against colonization. In order to know that, you have to have a connection with your family. All of us have a story. If you have a mother and father, you have a story. There's no reason that you should know who you are. What has happened is we've adopted these doctrines, which are religions, and we put them before our family. I close and pass the baton on that. In order. Who is it? Oh, okay, my bad. All right. In order to know who you are, goddamn, you would have to go back and trace it. No one's gonna tell you who you are. Again, these people came to us as missionaries, and the Kemetic doctrine was no different. It was something to take you off the land here in America while they swiped it from under your feet. I land.
Anybody else before I go?
I would piggyback and say that all of these medic sciences or different studies around the world tell you to know thyself. So it is important to know who you are. If you're from America and your family's from America, go study and find out where you're actually from.
And I just want to ask, who's related to anyone in Kemet? Where's the documentation?
Come on, Crystal.
That was beautiful. Another thing, just to kind of add to it before we go to the next thing, reason why I keep talking about the swindlings and what's so important about it is because, first of all, this number was not a created number or a made up number. If you look it up, just the actual
Is that mine or is it his? Mic check.
and all of the that we once had, you're going to Indian records. You're going to the Bureau of Land Management. You're going to the Department findings of deceased Indians. You're going to these places where, again, these oppressors have taken over these particular histories, these particular estates, as well as creating all of these factions. Have you ever noticed all of these belief systems and these nationalities and all these things? There's always some slick-headed white boy in the background. Have you noticed that? Not there. Nobody that looks like you is giving you this information. How in the world would you know that you're from Kemet? We would love for you guys to answer these questions. No dancing this time. How do you know? We already know DNA don't count. You tell me a machine that can trace all the genetic markers in a human being. Number one, were they digging up bones? What are these guys actually doing? All over the world? But you guys in the same mouth will debunk everything else. Round earth to flat earth, Christianity to free thought, whatever. Why don't you reverse engineer everything else since you already did it? You want to manifest this and that? Why don't you manifest getting back to family and understand your real history versus some African in some book? I rest my mic.
Oh, getting a little spicy. Getting a little spicy.
I can trace my family genealogy all the way to the year 28, right, from Israel. And then I can also trace in America back to the year 1480, was my grandmother pigeon in the water.
It looks like you and me. To drive a narrative of something that can devise us, that can manipulate the constructs of our already reality we had at that time? Or was it to trick us because they were playing the long play on all of these empires and these states and these providences that we once had, these Indian territories? So you tell me like this, guys, on my closing, you tell me we moved millions of Africans. They came here. Now, before we had the 50 states and all these different states' names and all these things we know, these are territories. You look up the Yazoo fraudulent land sale, you can actually see these Indian territories all over. So when we say Indian, we got to understand the name is interchangeable. There was no Native Americans at that time because the brother told you when that name was created. So we're talking about over 266 Indian wars that was happening. These were your people. This is why the Native Americans, which are the Eastern Asian, Siberian, Mongolian people, do not want to be called Indian, because those Indians, there was a depiction between the American Indian and the Native American. See, this is always sleight of hands right now. This is the trickery right now. You understand what I'm saying? So as they're giving us these trickeries, you have these people who are against us setting up shop around these heirs' properties, around these lands. You see, these different tribes, you heard each and every one of us line up and say? We had federations and militias. We had commerce.
Right, let me
we had
close on
things
this.
in unity going on. But when we start having droves of people, droves of narratives, and people like that look like you and me fighting each other with all of these different stories, you have the disconnection from grandma, from great grandma. Now, information, one.
Let me get that last minute.
Evolution, all of these things everyone in here talks about. It comes to the Kinglos room to listen to.
All day,
right?
Look at that.
What is so special about Kemet? And ain't nobody sent none of you guys an invite to come to a family reunion out there, and I mute.
And to close on that, basically the reality of the situation is when Napoleon invaded into Egypt, they all of a sudden discovered the Rosetta Stone, which Kemetic people from the Kemetic paradigm is basing their whole reality off of a finding out of colonization called the Rosetta Stone.
30 seconds.
When their families told exactly who you were. And if they haven't told you, then go back and ask. But I guarantee you they're not going to tell you out of Kemet. Why? Because the whole existence of this Kemet paradigm is based off of Europeans' finding of a Rosetta Stone. I land.
Let's go.
We probably got about 20 or 10, 15 seconds left. Anybody
Hey, it's
else?
about 3 more hours of this. Hey, y'all hear me?
Welcome to the
Hey, it's about 3 more hours. We got 4 more hours of this. Like 3.5 hours more of punching. Oh, it is just getting warmed up.
House of Ancient Magic. We are on question number 2,
We
and we're
finna
switching
start
over
working.
to Team Kemetic.
She
We'll
wants some
reread
work.
the question, and y'all will have 10 minutes.
She wants some work.
And so the question is, should we identify with Kemetic or American Indian tradition? What should be more important to us?
This is Lord L. Can I chime in?
Go ahead.
All right, peace. So I just
Yeah,
want to
The chief
talk
wants some
about
work.
the Born Stone, which was found in Massachusetts.
I'm finna take that away from him.
Was found in Massachusetts and has been dated back to about 32 AD. And that Born Stone actually had Phoenician writing on it, and it's said that the writing was written by Hanno, who was actually a Phoenician who arrived here in North America when those Phoenicians traveled the seas.
Hanno didn't come to America. Hanno was born in the Americas. Hanno is from the Georgia, Florida region, family. He is the first to make expeditions to West Africa. See, these niggas out here talking about mound builders. Who coined the term mound builders? What was that known before then? When they searched for the mound builders, Thomas Jefferson received information from the French. Who were the mound builders? Who were these ancient people coming out of the Southeast? Well, they come up with Hanno. And they find that Hanno expedition were the people today they call Creek Indians, coming out of Alabama, Georgia, and borders of Florida region. Bloodlines of the God. Can't believe you ain't seen it yet.
Also, there's the Back Creek Stone, which was found in Tennessee.
Back Creek Stone, we taking all of it.
Actually said to have Phoenician writing, which also was dated back to about 320 AD, and that's in Tennessee. And then also there was another story that was found in Oklahoma that actually had a poem that was written to.
What the fuck do this got to do with anything, family?
As well as
did y'all hear the question?
So I just wanted to add that to show the connection to the Americas outside of the Atlantic slave trade story, because only history showing that the ancient Egyptians that were over in North Africa did take trips to America. And then you can also go down to Memphis, Tennessee, and you will actually see that there's a statue of Ramses II, because it said that Ramses II was actually buried in Memphis in Tennessee. I land my plane with that.
All right, so let me let me get to the question, because the other side.
Nah, hold on. We're gonna do this.
Question at the topic.
He said we didn't speak on the topic. What was more important?
It wasn't Napoleon. His name was actually Pierre Boucher.
Of the Davenport tablets. Now, these Davenport tablets found in 1877 by Reverend Jacob Gass. We almost done, y'all. Now, they were found in Davenport, Ohio. They was inscribed with animals, the mystery of the mound builders.
Okay, here go the Back Creek Stone,
by
right?
A single individual radius a few miles of one our town, caused many questions.
Cause many questions of the authenticity of the discoveries. Okay, they're searching for the mound builders. Let's
The
walk.
authenticity of was given the job.
So we get to the Back Creek Stone. John Emery was the archaeology assistant to who? Cyrus Thomas of the Smithsonian Institution. Again, we're fighting against these institutions. So the creek mounds located Back Creek and Little Tennessee River, Loudon County, Eastern Tennessee. This is BCU platinum information. So the Federal Bureau of American Ethnology in 1882, their task was to solve the mystery of the mound builders. I hear a lot of mound builder people talk. Y'all want to talk to me about some mound builders? Let's work. Check this out. Who built the mounds? When had they been built? And what connection, if any, was there between the spectacular earthworks encountered across the America, Midwest, South, Southeast, and American Indians who inhabited those regions? European settlers, when European settlers settled there. Now, over years, a budget of $60,000 supplied by the U.S. government, Thomas directed an investigation of 2,000 mound sites scattered across 21 states, collecting more than 40,000 artifacts from the mounds. Those artifacts form the basis of what became Smithsonian collection of Indian relics. Now, when we come here, Thomas believed he had identified the source. But what we find out was reports of a confession by Davenport, who alleged that the tablets and other artifacts were frauds perpetrated by a group of men who wished to make them gas appear foolish. Though there were no significant problems with the confusion, most notably the fact that the confessor was too young, but the Davenport tablets were certainly fraudulent. More recently, McCuskey discovered President lower Greek letters on the second Davenport stone, but the lowercase Greek letters, check me out, were not invented until medieval times. Let me run that back for you one more time. Now, what they found out that a presence of Greek letters, but see, they fucked up and they had a lowercase Greek letter in there that was not invented in the ancient time, but in medieval time. McCuskey also identified Arabic numbers, Roman letters. Their presence is clear proof. Clear proof of what, Chief? Excavating the mound, Mound 3 at Back Creek site was part of the Federal Mound Site Survey. This is government. Cherokees represented writing system invented in 1890. Back Creek stone was very recent. No more than 80 years old at that time. And at least some of the mounds were recent as well as been constructed by the Cherokee, which was apparently Thomas' preferred hypothesis. So he's just gonna say, well, the Cherokee did it. His solution to the mystery, who had built it. But inscriptions on the Back Creek stone was unique. Unique artifacts are enormous challenge to archaeologists. So how do they come to the truth? Let me bring you over here and just stop playing with it. Yeah, we're gonna walk through all of that. Can we bring it over there and stop playing with it? Man, what am I doing that? Give me 2 seconds, because I got that work. Oh, dude, you got it. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet, boy. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Let's get over there. The mystery stones, the Phoenician. Remember, they spoke about what? Mystery rock. They say Phoenician inscription, Hebrew, the oldest 10 commandments. It's the Los Lunas. Find here. Well, when we look into these things, these holy inscriptions, I bring you over here. Guess what? This is the same inscription. They say it's the Los Lunas. They say that's the Los Lunas. I ain't got too much time, so I'm just gonna get you out of here. Man, listen, let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. I'm getting up too much game. Let me stop. You're right. You're right. They just gonna have to watch Bloodlines of the Go at 5. But you know, don't chunk that weak ass shit up over here, nigga. We ain't just ready, nigga. We super ready.
Sure.
yeah, nigga.
I ain't saying no part. I said Napoleon invasion.
James, it's not your turn, James. Oh, my bad. And also, I think James mentioned, you know, the stuff about slaves and stuff and being taken here, you know, which is not the question at all and stuff. But even with the slave stuff, you know, really, who knows and stuff. But at least if the slaves was way over there, I mean, at least they kind of have a little excuse with, you know, it being huge body of water in between the two places. And, you know, and people over here, you know, couldn't protect people who's already over here in our own backyard.
Say, man, y'all want,
he
say he wants some work.
So let's
say he wants some
the
work.
question, you know, about the tradition.
Can he get some work?
Which ones should we adhere to? Which one should be more important to us and stuff? First off, let me talk about a meme actually that I saw a few weeks ago. This meme was from a high school kid, and he said, and this meme said, "Man, if I would have known that chemistry came from the word Kemet, that was talking about all the great things that, you know, that my people did.
Stop it.
I actually would have tried hard in high school, you know."
Wow.
And
did y'all hear that?
With one of them.
With the natural of Kemet, you know, and for people who may not know what that means, Kemet referred to nature as nectar, and they anthropomorphize different aspects of nature, and they were called Netaru. And all of the Netaru, they had animal heads and human bodies, and they all stood. They were trying to show the similarities between the cosmos, nature, like, and us, and also they were trying to show us different chemical processes that, you know, happens in our bodies, how to control them, how to operate them, how to harness magic, how to all those things. It also stood for us, in order to elevate to a higher state of consciousness, we have to conquer and control our animalistic nature. You know, we can operate as a god, or we can operate as the devil. We have both inside of us and stuff. And, you know, and my brother Dark Skin Jermaine, I told you I was
bring this up. He mentioned on this app, and a lot of people, if you're familiar with me, you know how most of the time I'm always calm on this app, and back in the day, it wouldn't have went like that. I would probably be arguing with people back and forth, and increasing my stress level, being in danger of having high blood pressure and all that stuff, but like once I got into, the knowledge of Kemet and stuff, I realized that, I'm in control of my reality, of the things that happen to me, so if something happens, if I don't like something, if someone tries to make me mad or whatever, that's their problem. If I get upset at something, that's my fault. Regardless of whoever or what made me upset, I have the choice to be upset about it. And the only thing that's gonna happen is raise my stress level. So that's just an example of, things that, that tapping in and, learning about Kemet and stuff helped me. I can go much deeper in it. And also, if I wouldn't have started to learn about all the, the actual historical origins of things and stuff, I would still be walking around here talking about praise Jesus and have a picture of a white man hanging on my wall, right now, so, and also, like, I want to get on something too, like the pyramids, which were actually called MERS. So, the pyramids of the Nile, of the Nile Valley area, but the pyramids in Egypt, they are actually like diamond shaped. So we all see the triangle on top, but it's another triangle at the bottom. And they would create something that's called sociostasis. Sociostasis electricity. That means that at the bottom, it would pull ions into the king's chamber. And they have a copper tube, and those ions.
Come on, B, man. What we doing, bro?
Those tubes would produce those ions, and it would send up wireless energy, electricity when it was functioning properly. So now, the pyramids in the Queen's Chamber, like, they were carefully crafted, with that copper wire, and
copper wire.
Also, next to each wire, they had instructions next to them written in Middle Nature, aka hieroglyphics. Just like we have instructions, next to batteries that will go by. And so the pyramids were also covered in limestone,
fucked over you niggas, bro,
and gold, which are all some of the most electric conducting metals of electricity on this earth. So those pyramids were energy centers, and they were harnessing electricity, they were harnessing wireless energy and things of that nature. And actually, Nikola Tesla, I don't think I need to go deep into some of the things that he did. Most people know about him and, a lot of the things that he did. But Nikola Tesla crafted all of his research, his scientific references, his experiments of everything that he built and was doing. He crafted all of that to Kemetic sciences, not American history sciences, because I can't find any American Indian sciences, but he studied, he went over there and studied and was trying to duplicate what they were doing in those MERS in Kemet, not in America. And he was killed for doing that. He was trying to give the world free energy. He was trying to give the world free energy, like they were doing in Kemet, and he was killed for that.
Hey, they had free light bills.
A lot of other inventors.
They had no light bills in Kemet.
Goes against what
leave the lights and TV on all night, goddamn.
Leaders of the world want to push out. They mysteriously end up dead. We all know that, but I say all that to say, like,
is it rebuttal round yet?
Yeah, it's important for us to identify with, to learn about and know both, but the latter, the oldest, and the Kemetic spirituality and the sciences that was teaching you how to harness energy from within and outside as well. It was teaching you how to take accountability for things, just, I could go on and on, but it changed my life. I know personally a multitude of lives that it changed, and I'll end it right there.
So, and also, the ancient Egyptian culture didn't come over here to Americas underneath any pale Europeans or any colonizers.
That's coming, Lord. One of the
Right.
So that's why I brought up all of those stones to show you the period pieces when Africans did arrive here in America.
Oh, that's why you brought them up, huh? Well, I got something to say about that, buddy. I got something to say about that, buddy.
All right, thank you, Team Kemet. Brother Bishop, can you handle the next proceeding, please?
The American Indians have 10 minutes to follow up with their rebuttal.
Okay. Well, shit, I don't want to waste no time. We get right into it, to the boring stone. Again, another pseudo claim made by these guys over there. I mean, they're the pseudo claim back to back. Respectfully, man, it was only way that you guys could have answered that question was to talk about yourselves and your family history and story. Being so that you guys took another route tells me one thing. One, maybe you don't have a family, you don't know anything about yourself, and you spent all of your scholarly careers studying things that had nothing to do with you or your family, which indicates there's no way that it can actually help you or your family, especially in today's society, nor in the past. So I want to get into some of the claims that was made. One was the boring stone. And that was a pseudo claim that Phoenicians or somebody came over here because when you go to Edmund Delba from the Brown University, he says that he explained that he thought the petroglyphs carved in the stones were by the Native Americans. He said from the pictures he saw was Native American objects like moon pipes and objects like crosses, and also saw Native Americans on there shaking hands, depictions of themselves. Which they also said looked like the wigwams or the dress code that the Indians that they found the Indians in. Another pseudo claim. We also want to remember, like I said in closing, as I pass the baton, the only real way to answer this question, because it was a very, very direct question. I appreciate whoever presented that question. Very, very direct. How does it help you? If you're speaking about something outside of yourself, how does that have a benefit to you? I close there. Come on, y'all, grab the ball.
Set up there. Appreciate that one.
That's right.
This is the whole reason why I keep bringing this upon us, right? It's because, again, these are all narratives. Everything that you're hearing from Brandon's side, all things that just sound good, but that cannot help you. It's like, Brandon, is your grandmother Indian or is she not? Then he would say, yes, but it's about the origin. And okay, no worries. So when you start talking about from grandma's age all the way back to the origin of the source, who is there back at the source of creation to even document this, for this information to even be valid? Now, I've been in the room for probably about a couple of years now since I got on here. Now it's ancient magic. And we pride ourselves into unraveling the inconsistencies, to unraveling these belief systems. And the only thing that I keep hearing is not just the science, but how spirituality and how spiritually this has helped them. It's like, what are we doing? Is this a testimony service or not? Let's talk about in the real world, right, on how important this information is in your American side, right? So when you start talking about already having wealth, now, if I came from somewhere else and I was an immigrant and I wanted to take that, I would do anything in the world that I can do to take that from you. It's documented, not just in the Smithsonian, the 403.orgs, also, and any links, also any source you can find will show you exactly the CCC and why important this is and how easy it is to kind of inject these different narratives, right? So before this CCC event that happened in the 40s all the way to the 1940s. We had the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, we had a lot of immigrants coming in droves. Millions. People came in. Some of these millions of people chose to work under the guise of the CCC. Now, while Franklin Delano Roosevelt was coming into presidency, he tricked these, at the time, they called us Negro. Now, if you know anything about your history here, just to let you know the importance between your American history and the non-importance and the Kemetic history is, in fact, the American Indian changed classifications from that to colored to that of a Negro, then Black African American, right? Cool, no worries. So at that particular time, we had already switched to Negro. So these Indian farmers still had 920,000 of these Indian farmers still had millions of acres. Now within these acres, they had jurisdiction, they had commerce, they had relationships with their neighboring tribes, and they were running their infrastructure quite nice until they were tricked to do this electoral college of what we have today in the voting system. Once that happened, that allowed them to literally move right on in and start taking this particular land. Now, why is this so important? It's because we're talking about the importance behind that. Brandon mentioned something. He said, well, James saying things that wasn't even asked. He started talking about slavery. Well, thank you for setting me up for that. The reason why I did that, ladies and gentlemen, is really simple, because it's just another narrative that's spun to you, right, to disconnect you from the land. Now that I just said what I just said, will make this really make sense. How in the world can millions of these Africans come, establish this, and then now they go all this effort into taking it? It just doesn't make sense in such a short period of time. So if they came in the 1600s, and we're already running 4,000 banks in the 1700s and the 1800s, at Muscogee Nation, Choctaw Nation, we had schools, we had banks, we had cars, gas stations, all of these different things, right? How could this happen to someone coming from Africa, right? So I want to debunk that, because if I debunk that, that's going to debunk the other source story, because that information is actually coming from the same source, which, as we know it, we call it the European station, right? So again, all Brandon and his side has spoke about things that are magically or inspiration, nothing in facts, nothing that's tangible. All right, here we go. I already had showed you the map of distribution of where our stuff went to. They had said the Great Depression means we had no money. So how can you have no money but bring millions of people in? What were these millions of people doing? Now we're following the stories. Then we also heard of all these other people coming in, you know what I'm saying, with all of their people. Well, let's follow the water. How did they travel across? If we just listen to what they're being told, then we'll believe it. It's pretty much what this whole situation.
Don't pass the rock.
So throughout this whole presentation, I'm going to continue to unravel things.
Oh, let's let the sisters talk. I don't think I heard Tasha in a while.
Before and after.
I guess more Shaktians in here. Come on, pass the rock.
The source is still here. No matter where you look, we still have the source. And we're going to go ahead and debunk that. I want to pass this down to one of my sisters, either Phoenix or Latasha, because we want to speak about something that's recent.
Right.
The 1866 treaties that some of them actually was there. Speaking with some of the
want to stick on the topic, bro. We got to stay on. I don't know. I'm not sure if we changed it.
Set for the American.
We already went into the next question.
Negroes, Nagas, blacks, colored, so on and so forth. Right. So I want you to go ahead and listen to what the whole disposition was about. And
no, bro, no. What the hell we doing? We in the debate.
I'm sure. I don't mind.
My bad, bro. I probably missed the question or something.
The fact that when we talk about the actual topic of this section of the debate in regards to how does this information work for you, I think this is where we actually get into what's going on in the United States and how the United States utilized the Indian Removal Act.
Okay. They said it's a rebuttal.
To move Black Americans
all right, good night, Sister Rhonda.
Into a status outside of Indian. Move us across this country. I posted the Indian Removal Act and the migration lines. The Jumbotron is now gone, but it was there for you guys, and I can put it in the chat. if you actually are looking at your family and your grandparents, we're talking about 250 years of history for the United States Corporation. So if you're looking within this time frame, and you look at your ancestors and look at their migration patterns throughout this time period, you will be able to tie and see how your family fits into this specifically. Not 2,000 years ago, not 7,000 years ago, but what actually happened here. And if you're looking for a way to justify your position now or the position of your children in the future, then you're going to want to know where you came from. And that's going to want to start with you looking at your immediate family and working your way back. The information is available, and there are people available to help you within our group. But you will not find this information by looking 2,000 years ago. That information will not help you.
All right, the Kemets have 10 minutes to rebuttal.
Oh, no, that wasn't. That was ours. That wasn't their rebuttal.
All right, brother Sakim, you there?
I could chime in.
Oh, maybe they rebutted our rebuttal. Okay, my bad.
Just go down. Brother Sakim. Yep. It's on you. It's our 10 minutes.
Here with you.
All right, good evening, everyone. So the question is, should we choose Kemetic tradition?
Shout out
over the
Sister
American
Tasha, goddamn.
tradition? And my stance
Dropping
is
that
that
BCU drop.
we should go with the Kemetic tradition. We should go with the Kemetic tradition based off the facts that we know that everything on this side of the world is based off the cosmogony of the Kemetic sciences.
We
Everything
finna
else
kill
is
all that
derivative.
shit.
Someone mentioned Rosetta Stone.
Let me get my
You don't
gun
have
ready.
to even go by Rosetta Stone to even understand and know
See
that
what weapon
the
I want to hit this
lexicon
nigga with.
of the Medu Neter is the oldest script that gives you Herodic, Demotic, goes into Proto-Sinaitic, and gives you all of the other scripts to confluent with the dialects of other nations and cultures. If you go through American Indians, Native American, you take those groups, because those are new names, like the person said, they got changed to Negro, Black, and Colored. The thing that you need to look on the congressional record and find is the note from Mr. Stevens from June 16, 1846, where it tells you that the land in America that you claim by you, which is great, I'm on the same side as you,
No, you're
that
not.
it is belonged to the Mauritanian races, and that the Moorish people and their Indian associates.
Right. Let's go get
All
that.
right, the land belongs to the Moorish people.
Let's go get
And
that.
then it says they're Indian associates. Associates, the key phrase meaning secondary.
Oh, okay. That's what that means.
People that's in power. Okay, and you got to go look at the borders, and it shows you on the map. And again, like you said, with the slave trade,
Come on, man.
you
Chunk
can
that shit up.
mathematically calculate that there's no way humanly possible people are going to go across the ocean without the proper food, sanitation, and water, unless they have a modern ship like we have today. And I lived and worked on the ship for almost a year. I worked in the desalination plant. Okay. Also, when you guys were talking about all these other things, the reason why I would go with the Kemetic construct is because, one, I know that the scripts and dialects come from there. Two, I've talked to other people. I have been initiated through the Miccosukee Indians, through walking and traversing through the Everglades, taken to a spot with a United Nations marker showing the Ankh. These people know who and where folks have been. And it's not just there. It's all over the place. You just got to go look them up and find them. They're in Central America. There's a book called Queen Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx. You read that book and the author is telling you straight up that the people there said that they made occasional trips back to their ancestors and homeland, which is ancient Indus Kush and Kemet. Period. You go look it up. It's in the book. And then they tell you that the scripts on the walls and everything is likened, and it is just a further
remedial exaggeration that they had to learn and communicate from to get to know the script from the people out of ancient Egypt they use in the book, which is Kemet. Okay, so when we say that Kemet is pseudo, you're right, because in order to even perceive and think of something, that's what pseudo
I'm finna eat this nigga lunch.
Through nature, like the brother said, the Netaru. It's aspects.
We about to eat this nigga lunch.
Image of how God is, and with
chunk that shit up.
You start at 0 and you work your way to 10 to what we call the tree of life, the Netaru. They're not gods. They're not all of this fanciful stuff that you keep calling it. They're aspects of your nature that you must master in order to wake up the divinity.
Watch this here. I'm finna use an elbow. I'm finna use an elbow bar on
Indian, if you want to call that, or American Indian, Native American constructs. You got to find the names of those same likened deities, and you're going to find that the system is the same. So we're building here, know your spiritual system on the American Indian side, so we can communicate effectively on the ancient Kemetic side. And I go back to ancient Kemet because my lineage, through my DNA, through my birthright.
And what is that?
Okay, now I know, just like I shared with the brothers earlier, I respect you. I agree with the 1866, but you're missing that one little piece about the Moor on the congressional record, where they misnomered you and called you Indian too, which also called you a freedman too. The history is here in Florida, all throughout Florida. You could go find St. Benedict de Moor Church. St. Augustine itself, the oldest city in America, is the name of a Moor. They misnamed us all over the place. They extrapolated the information all over the place. I could take you to the Black Book Dictionary and show you what a Moor is. Take you to the Ancient Egyptian Dictionary and show you what a Moor is. We could keep beating and banging on. We getting knowledge and information from pink Africans, or what you call white folks. But white folks didn't come into existence until the 1600s. So we got to keep everything in a time slot. We got to understand and know that when we say who and what is going to work the best. My question is, I've studied with people on the American Indian side. I've gone to powwows. I understand and know what the CCC is, because I spent a week out in the woods with my sons on a CCC formal camp where they built the bridges here in Florida, where we volunteered to clean up the ecological pathways and the bike trails and everything. I understand and know what that is. But those people you're talking about that the land was taken from is on the record congressionally as a Moor. Change the name to an Indian. That's why the Louisiana Journal Historical Association put the book out from Moor to Indian to tell you that they changed our name. Now, Moor is just another, if you want to call it, group of people from different nations who conglomerated themselves into that faction. You can find that information in the diplomatic relations between.
Oh, we talking about Egypt or the damn Moors?
That's on the military record for my military history and training to become a military officer. It tells you that the Moors, the Seljukian Turks, the Jews, and the Berbers, who is just another name for a Moor, all right, all melanated peoples were fighting against the British, got caught in a war, and nonetheless, they're also Mohammedans. That's what
they everybody, huh?
Muslims. Muslims didn't exist till the 1900s. That's a group created by the Jews for the Arabs, so they had their own thing. So we need to know that these scripts, the script that we call Arabic and what we think is Spanish, is Moorish Latin. Our historian can tell you that. So I go with the Kemetic construct because, one, all languages come from that. They talk to Greeks, they talk to Romans, they talk to people out of going into Indus Kush. I even confirmed this with Chinese people. These people know they communicate within a society of people with other societies. What society do you belong to with American Indians that's communicate with other nations and cultures to verify your information? And I agree with you. We do need to come together to the Congress.
Well, what the hell is going on here?
It says it right there, Choctaw Nation. Cherokee, the slaves were freed and given back to the black slaves, right? But it said they were called the freedmen. You go to the Freedmen's Bureau and look on the log, you're going to start finding out that you're talking about Moors. Go back to the book, Moors to Indians. Go to the congressional record of 1846, June 16, and read the whole thing on the Mexican War. It was privateers, not the United States, that started a lot of this riffraff. Privateers. They took over the country. You need to know about the 5 civilized nations in the United States that you could call Indians, that were Moors. that were helping them with their constitution that we use to this day. To know that we paid and participated in that. And somebody threw out a resolution 75 throwing Noble Drew Ali in there. I respect Noble Drew Ali. He himself said he was an Indian, but he also recognized the fact when he got the knowledge that he brought us back into the fold to say, I'm a Moor. And I'm not going to be too proud enough to tell you that I'm not a Moor. So you have to get all the facts. Don't just take one side right off the cuff. Because my grandmother told me that we were Cherokee. But the main thing she said is, we ain't been in no powwows. We ain't got nobody coming back looking for us. I got folk that done tried on our Bowman side of the family, hence the word Bowman, to try and get access to this knowledge and get an understanding and get on the record. But no one came to answer. She said, but what I do know on our African side, we do got folks that's been fighting for us. And she gave me some of that legacy too. So we got to combine
share some of that with us.
We're going to go in that
We're
route.
talking about all
At
of
the end of the day, as
the
an American
Moors.
Indian, that's a new construct. And if you buy into that construct, then what you're doing is you're cutting yourself off from the greatest continent where all the resources come from to this day that's vastly more wealthy than any other nation on this planet. And you're cutting yourself off from a legacy that you should know the whole spiritual system of Kemet created all of this, and in their story tells you that they went out and civilized all the nations of the earth, and they made it over here to do so as well.
We got 10 seconds left.
That's all I got for right now.
All right, this is the finalization round. Each team has 3 minutes.
Hey, hold on. Can we rebut?
In the finalization round, if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Both have the rebuttal rounds.
I appreciate it. Well, the brother brought up the fact that the Mauritanian races and their Indian allies. Well, what he don't understand is Moorish history. Like his grandma told him he's a Cherokee. She didn't tell him he was a Moor. He's been indoctrinated, and And so what he don't understand very quickly is the first Moor in America was Esteban. All right, was Esteban, who came over with the Spanish. These Moors that they're talking about are colonizers. They came here and colonized America. You're not American. They're Indian allies, if you don't know, the annex of Mexico. Okay, when you come into Mexico, 1808, Napoleon sacked Spain. So out of that became a Mexican independence war. All right, the creation of the national Mexican identity, especially after the Mexican Revolution, emphasized Mexico, indigenous Amerindians, and Spanish European. Who are the Spanish European? These Moors who they're talking about, starting with Estevanico the Moor. Okay, their relationship during this fight, there were key players in this who had Moorish blood and also indigenous blood. Okay, so that's what they were talking about, brother. Again, this is a teaching moment. We have to teach them again. Like I said, his grandmother told him that he was a Cherokee, not a Moor. He went out here into the world just like these Kemites and been indoctrinated. Okay, I want to close on this. He said that the Moors gave them the Constitution. Well, right here in H. Con Res, in the House of H. Con Res 331, a concurrent resolution to acknowledge the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy and nations to the development of the United States Constitution. Nobody said Moors. These were indigenous Indians, our people, for your ancestors who helped them create the Constitution, not a Moor. The Moors, like Drew Ali and HR 75 said, are from Morocco, North African. Alan.
And I'm gonna touch on this. How many of y'all can actually tie yourself to these places, Morocco and Egypt? Because I actually came through my Nova Scotian, not Nova Scotian, my Scottish roots here ancestry. I'm connected to Queen Scotia.
And also, I can also connect myself to the House of Savoy, the King of Italy. And I'd like to add, just to make sure that we're ending on the point of what's the importance of the Indian heritage versus Egyptian heritage. The 1866 treaty told us a lot. At the Congress hearing that we went to on Wednesday, a few of us Indians went there. to speak on behalf of the by blood Indian. A lot of you of your families are telling you you're Indian, but no one's showing up at these meetings for them to explain to you that you're a freedman. Okay? The freedman is a grift. These are people who were pushed out of their land through the Trail of Tears and other routes into Oklahoma and areas, and they are now being called African descendants by the way of slavery. So I think it's very important that we actually look at the United States. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
That's fine. Kemet, you have 3 minutes for your finalization. Well, I would like to say that we all know that Italians are Moors because Moors actually controlled Italy for about 400 years. So if you have a connection to Italy, you have a Moorish bloodline in you. So it's safe to say it's not a good idea to cut your nose off to spite your face. And also, I think it's kind of weird how these Indians like to pick and choose literature and documentation that only dates back to the 1800s, when us Moors could point back to literature and documentation that dates back all the way to
point to it with your bloodline.
400,000 BC.
400,000 BC.
You know, if we could provide you with information, I think it's safe to say that you should take the time out and research the information and leave your emotions at home, because us Moors, we're not here to try to undermine you. We're just trying to point information out to you because it's weird to actually put the cart before the horse. And I feel like these Indians, they like to discount old ancient information and only rely on current information that only dates back to the 1800s, when they like to undermine history and say that, oh, the European gave this to you, or the European named you. But when you go back to the 1700s and see how the Moors actually controlled Europe for 800 years, it was the Moors that taught the Pale Europeans language, writing, and history, and we was the first to build all universities. So there's nothing the Pale European could possibly give us, because we created all knowledge and all alchemy, mathematics, and astrology. I land my plane.
All right, and real quick before the time run out, because y'all were just talking about what you connected to. James, your last name is Wells. I looked up the order of the name Wells is from it's a Norman origin from Roman Britain. And Latasha, your last name Evans, that's a surname. That's the fifth most common one in Wales, Britain. So you know, in England, we know that's in England. So I was just playing. The others, y'all don't have your last names attached, so I don't know. So they're also connected to Britain.
B, why you do that? Because your last name go back to Europe as well.
I just wanted to, put that out there. Is the time up?
Got 15 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll yield right there. The stuff I can't fit it in 15 seconds.
All right, this is going to be the rapid fire interrogation round. Each side is going to get 1 minute to ask a question and 1 minute to respond.
All right, so I had posed my questions in the last round. How many of these people can, through their bloodline and genealogy, connect to these places through their family? So, Morocco, Mauritania, and Egypt. Because I stated before, I can.
Rapid fire.
Well, the word Morocco just means west. I thought this was the rapid fire. 30 seconds. So I'm just saying that they still get a minute. They have a minute.
Yeah, they're still on the floor.
You gotta wait, Lord.
Oh, is that it? All right, cool. And then, all right, so the etymology of Moor is synonymous with black, right? And it ties you to ancient
Berbers. How do you connect to that with that as well?
And I appreciate your education, because the brother said that they like to provide ancient sources. Well, sorry, this question was about yourself. So we'd rather hear about yourself than your ancient history.
Kemet is on you guys.
All right, now you can go, Lord, with what you were trying to say.
No, I was just basically, I forgot what I said. Somebody else go and maybe I remember.
Can I give a rebuttal?
No, they might.
It's their rebuttal. It's their. Okay.
Chris is ready to shoot. Bow, bow, bow.
So many different turns from the actual question. I don't even recall what to rebut. So I yield.
And I think the problem is because the questions are asking specifically about you and yours and we, and the answers are coming back in theoretical form and hypothetical form through debatable documentation from thousands of years ago. So I'm not really sure we're kind of having the same conversation.
So, Mr. Moderator, I'd like to
okay, so listen, you guys. When it's your turn during that 1 minute and you're asking your question, if you want to yield the rest of the time, make that clear, and I'll stop the timer, and then the other team can respond. But during that 1 minute, the other team can't interrupt to respond. You have to allow them to finish. If they decide to ask you guys 10 questions in that 1 minute, that's their choice. It's their minute to do what they want with it.
Fresh face ass niggas.
Hey, so you putting time back on the clock for them double, or we just going past that? Because it seemed like
it seemed like the Kemet's yielded to not respond to that, so it's on the American Indians.
Dr. Elwood tried to ask you. He was trying to ask you something directly to the time person.
What were they trying to ask?
Were you guys?
I was just agreeing with the sister. We're asking a question, and so we keep deviating, and it's kind of a little bit challenging to try to stay on point with the question when you get so far off right or left. And,
hey, nah, that ain't Moon. That's Latasha. That's Sister Latasha. That's not Moon. That's Sister Latasha. Shout out, check us out.
Directly, like for real directly, I think we'll have a better bill versus kind of tangenting off on points.
I think the questions are pretty direct.
Right.
Yeah, I asked a direct question.
I think the answers are not direct.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm getting at. That the statements for the questions are not direct.
So you agree that y'all are losing this? No problem. Appreciate your honesty.
We are definitely not losing.
Oh, wait a minute. So, since you want to jump in, that's my time to rebuttal.
Nigga, don't give me no uppercut like that, nigga. You better protect yourself at all times.
July the 14th, 1870 Naturalization Act.
Huh? We have to yield to the time.
For a second, I gotta start.
That was my turn.
You gotta give me a moment so that I can start it up. If everybody,
hey man, protect yourself at all times, man. You don't give me nothing like that. I'm gonna take it.
Okay. So according to the United States, July the 14th, Naturalization Act, it states that Moors are peoples from Spain and Portugal, and they are considered free white persons inside this Naturalization Act. I have a granddaddy named Michael Fulham, right? He was considered a Moor, right? His last name was Maury, right? He was a Moor. I can put my family inside of the story of the Moors. Can you? Who is your granddaddy, grandmama, that was actually from Spain and Portugal?
Very direct question. Very direct question.
Rebut to that, or how we approaching that?
Are y'all yielding your time?
Time, and you can go. Yeah, we're yielding time for you to answer that, and we'll pick back up. How many seconds we have?
Well, yeah, we don't want it. We want an answer.
That's cool. You want to
Okay,
give us 10 seconds?
Are we 10, 15 seconds is what we got left? What we got?
It's on the chemist to answer the question that was just posed.
Okay, so when you refer to this Nationalization Act of 1790, what you need to keep in mind is that white persons...
1870.
Okay, 1870. I'm looking at that. Okay, 1870. What you got to keep in mind is that a white person did not come into existence until the 1600s. It is a status.
It don't mean
and
it
guess
don't
what?
matter.
You don't have to be from Spain and Portugal, because I have Moorish brothers, including some of my family, who on their driver's license have the status of white. You also have a person that was from
30 seconds
from Egypt who came over here in the 1970s, who battled to have his status changed from white to black, and they told him because he was
What
from
the
North Africa,
fuck?
he had to
Do
be
that
black.
have to do?
Your statement is
We-
valid, but it's a status, and if you choose that status, you get different benefits and privileges.
All right, just to put it on the record, they did not answer the question.
And my family, my family are Pharaoh, they are Palu, and they are.
Shut that shit up. Yeah, we
It's on the American Indians.
and moderator, I have a question. Because we're asking very direct questions, but they're going around. Well, my bad, y'all can't control how they answer. All right, we can move on.
I can't control.
I just.
I did that on purpose, right? And then they said, yeah, right. We can't control how they answer. I know it's loaded up. But I need the audience to know that these niggas are not answering these goddamn questions.
To finish with the 66 treaty.
I need them to know that they ain't answering these questions. You know what, moderator? That's not your fault, brother. I'm sorry. Continue. You're doing a hell of a job moderating tonight.
Have come together and decided
You're doing a hell of a job tonight moderating.
ourselves African Americans, and we are in an overall status, such as the way that these questions are being answered, are tying ourselves to an African lineage, then we, by status, are not sovereign people. And although we may be in these Indian tribes listed as freedmen,
30 seconds.
are now not eligible to keep our land. So the reason why I was there is to speak for the by-blood Indians, because most of the people that I know, matter of fact, all of the people that I know in freedman status are actually by-blood Indians. There were no African slaves or ancestors to be spoken
Say,
of.
shot time done. That nigga said he got Pharaoh blood.
Where are these Africans in our families that we are tying ourselves to?
Where are Africans in their families?
Well, I can answer for myself.
Come on with it.
I can't speak for everyone else.
Yes, sir.
My
No problem. We
great-grandmother,
understand.
Her name is Rockwell El Mustafa. That means that she's more than likely a Mohammedan. And through my DNA testing, and I don't
More than
regret
likely.
or have anything
Circle
to
that.
bow to my grandmother telling me that we're from Cherokee. I didn't tell you the brother who stated that I said I was Cherokee. I said that I'm a Moor, because the Moor was turned into an Indian on the record and became a freedman. So I don't have any disagreement with you on any treaties, because it's all been an ambiguous shell game to keep us divided and split. So again, we need to go through all the treaties, all the lineages, all the correspondence of the spiritual systems, because I'm telling you that they're congruent, and I'm telling you that they have a lot of similarities, different bloodlines, different true roots, and different cultures, but they're all from a source. Okay, and that source right now in the congressional record, no one can refute it. It's saying that the land that we know as the far west of Maghreb belongs to Mauritanian races or the Moorish people. Okay, it was misnomered into Indians, Negroes, blacks, and colors. Now,
It's time, people.
Can we put it on the record that the brother just told us of his Cherokee grandmother and no African ancestry? Thank you.
No, sister, you didn't hear my statement. I said my sixth great grandmother on my father's side, her name is Rockwell El Mustafa.
And you speculated.
More than likely from Chad. That's not
But
speculation.
more than likely, it's
They don't write
Hold on. Hey, yo, stop. That's what I mean. We can't do this. We can do this later. We can't do this right now. Let's get through this.
But don't allow someone else to come in and make that statement.
You're right.
If I give you an African name, respect the African name.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. You right. Relax. Listen, let's keep this in order. Let the debate continue on.
Right, bro. Because we really just got one more question, bro. Because all that other shit, we've been on this hoe too long, bro.
All right, Raul. We're gonna let Raul go on to the next question.
Well, I didn't see Team Kemet ask questions to the American Indian team. Is that not a part of the process? So they skipping that.
We've been rebutting.
We're trying to stick to the question that's being asked. You can't, you asking questions within questions. I'm not seeing the solidarity of them answering the question as to why they sticking to their tradition other than dealing with a treaty. Take me back to the tradition. Take me to a powwow. Take me to a rites of passage, a ritual, something that you've experienced as an American Indian.
So I will answer that question. So my rite of passage is that I am my husband's walk beside, right? He took me as his walk beside in the Tuscarora Nation, right? I'm his wife. So that is my right to passage to the Tuscarora Nation. Also my right to passage to the Tuscarora
your bloodline.
Is through my great grandmother, Jessie, and her mother, Laura, who was born 1874. Okay, I was taught
30 seconds.
All of the root works of my tribe through my grandmothers. That is my right to passage. I was also taught how to garden from my grandmothers, from their tribe. And we are from Rocky Mount 12th District. And I also want to add that the Europeans were swarthy. That means dark complexion, but they chose to be white on paper.
All right, it's on the Kemet to ask their next question. You got 1 minute.
Hey, double, before you start the timer, please explain, well, Team Kemet, you got a whole minute to formulate several questions. It's not question, then they answer. You got a whole minute of how many questions you want to put in that minute. Okay, and he's going to start the clock when y'all start asking questions.
Yeah, that's what I told them. They could ask however many questions they see fit within their minute. It doesn't have to be one question. You have a whole minute. This is Lord L. Can I ask a question? Go ahead. My question is, what was so-called American Indians' identity before 1492?
Poor monkey for me.
Kasadi Indian for me.
Those are English terms.
Sapani.
Yo, y'all gotta wait. Hold up. Y'all misunderstanding this, right? Lord gonna ask his question. Whoever else on the committee.
He said that is an English term.
Then it's 1 minute. Then y'all get the answer. So if y'all gotta answer while you hearing these questions, write your answer down. Don't forget it. They got 1 minute to ask whatever questions they want y'all to answer. So don't respond to them until it's your minute.
And I'm not and real quick, I'm not asking you what your nation name is. I'm asking you what was your people name before 1492 and Europeans decided to name you Indian. 30 seconds.
Yep, in their native tongue too. We're not talking. We don't want the English terminology in English words. We want the words in your native tongue. That's what would call it.
Yeah, you know.
And also, I want to know, are American Indians, are they not Homo sapiens sapiens?
Boy, stop. Are we?
American Indians, you have 1 minute to respond.
Poor monkey.
Kasadi, and we spoke the Kasadi language.
Skarodi Walkan. That is the Suwan language.
Kinwa Piscataway. That means people from where the rivers blend. That's Algonquin. That's the Piscataway dialect of Algonquin.
Osage.
Osage.
30 seconds.
And Cahochifo is no my for the Kasadi language. My bad, I left it at.
And our right to passage is everything that has to do with North America, our land, our foods, everything that's been here. We are the commodity when it
Our
comes
minerals.
every mineral.
Our minerals with and all that, yeah.
All right, Team Kemet, you got 1 minute to ask your questions.
When do we get to the last question?
This is the last round of their question.
Oh, it is. This
You guys had 3 rounds to ask questions. I'm giving them 3 rounds to ask questions.
Okay. And then it goes to the last question.
This is their last question. Oh, all right.
Oh, this is King Kemet last question?
Correct. And then we're moving on to the next question for both of you guys from Raoub.
Oh, well, so if we ask a question, that's the last round of rapid fire anyway, so we just move on, period, because they won't be able to respond.
Right.
Yeah, this is the last question y'all asking from rapid fire.
And we just move on, period, then, because if we ask a question, they wouldn't be able to respond. So we just move on.
Brandon. And Brandon and Double, didn't y'all have a closeout round?
It's
getting late too.
Yeah, it's getting late. And look, you like let's, I don't think for the next 2 questions, I don't think we need 2 10-minute
rebuttals.
Rounds.
Don't change just take what you need. Just take what you need. If you don't need the whole 10, then you don't, but it's there. All right? Everybody understand? It's there if you need it, but if you don't need it, just move on.
Bet.
All
right? Bet.
Yeah, if you don't, like I stated before, if you don't need the rest of the time, just state that, yield the mic, and I'll stop the timer. It doesn't matter how much is left, I'll stop it, and the next team can go.
Who's it on?
The Kemets are supposed to be asking their last question, and then you guys are going to answer, and then we're moving on from that round.
Like Team Timmy.
I have a question then.
Okay, go ahead.
Since you guys mentioned these vague notions of your traditions and rituals, please give me the name. Give us the names of the spiritual systems and traditions, and at least one deity. One.
Man, this nigga said, a deity. Everybody didn't believe in God, nigga.
If you build elaborate,
come on, man, don't
or pyramids, 30 seconds in the Americas. Give me the names of who built them and when.
Huh? I'm sorry, what was that question again?
Repeat the question. It's okay. Repeat the question.
Brother Sakim said, well, my question, if you build elaborate pyramids and mounds in the Americas, give me the names of who built some and when. And Bro Sakim, can you repeat your question?
I'm sorry, man, I couldn't hear you.
No, they're asking you to repeat your question.
Okay, I said there was some vague notions about, rites of passage, rituals, things of that nature. Give me the name of your ritual, your spiritual system, and at least one deity corresponding to either your supreme being or your lowest being.
American Indians, it's on you guys to respond.
doesn't have to be congruent. It could be related to
I want to respond about in my family's tradition, we don't have a deity or a spirit that we just go to our ancestors. And my rite of passage, I told you about root work. My grandmothers, they did root work. We work with the herbs and the plants of the land. Okay, I told you about it. And we don't have a deity. And that is the Walcon Scroted.
Okay.
Speaking the Suan language.
30 seconds. Oh yeah, the Piscataway religion is called the Piscataway religion, and their God name is Yahweh.
Okay, so you need to know that Yahweh is from Water Yah, which is from.
That's not how it works.
That's right.
It's right. It wasn't. Yeah, Yahweh in Piscataway language is YA a dash WE. Thus, because the phonetics, it's pronounced like that.
And they mutants are here. A question is that Yahweh your supreme being on that particular time?
That means great spirit.
Okay, again, when you go through the Kemetic construct, you're gonna find Yahweh in the Levant. From the Levant, he comes.
Yeah, the Piscataway have nothing to do with Egypt. Actually, Piscataway, if you want to go on the Piscataway been around since 10,000 BCE. Egypt has been around 3,500 BC.
So come on, what you got now, nigga? Smart guy. Oh, okay. No smoke. No more smoke. We can go to the next question.
The next question.
I muted while I was building, but it's whatever. And y'all respond.
Y'all have to wait.
Wait, 1 second, double. If you're getting muted, because somebody's muting you and everybody got mod badges, so it's easy to do that. So type your full response to what you're saying in the chat, and everybody look over there for that. Double, you ready for me to move on to the next thing?
Yeah, you can move on. But the thing is if you guys don't get everything out, you can wait until the next round of rapid fire to ask this question. Just write it down or something. But once the round is over, it's over.
All right, we're moving on. We're moving kind of slow here.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Number 3 and Team Kemet, y'all take the lead on this because we flip-flopping. And so the question is, did our master teachers through history fail us by teaching us about African/Kemetic traditional history and not American Indian history?
All right, Brother Brandon, you want to take lead or you want me to roll? You can go ahead and roll. So I think that our master teachers did not fail us. One, we need to note that under the conditions that we were in, we have people with PhDs. For instance, I'll refer to Dr. Ben Yohanan, and I'll also refer to Anthony Browder. I'll also refer to Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, who was from South America, I'll also refer to Dr. Renoko Rashidi, and what these persons did, and Dr. Sheikh Antajia, because they all worked together at some point in time. And being that they're from different geological locations on the earth, and that they studied different kinds
history, you know, went around the world, did any, or the country, did any lectures on that, wrote any books, things of that nature. You know, they didn't. So in the time frame of how people were living and the conditions that they were dealing with, you know, being sprayed with water hoses during the civil rights times, you know, just being told that you're nothing but a monkey and a slave and all of these things, you know, worshiping a white Jesus, praying to them to come and solve their prime, solve the conditions that they're living through and things of that nature. So you inform them of the things that, you know, of the origins of what these things come from, what these things really mean, and things of that nature. You know, one of their main objectives was that we're still dealing with to a certain extent today, was to deliver, you know, a lot of us out of the religious dogma from Christianity, you know, and we were around here worshiping white people, you know, and so like our God that we were presented, you know, throughout the Western society, is the image of a white man. Jesus is the image of a white man. So subconsciously, you know, we submit we submit to the image of white people. When we think about white people, when we interact with white people, subconsciously we automatically submit and feel inferior to white people, because in our eyes, white people are in the same image of God, of our deity that made us, that was gonna punish others that was doing wrong to us, you know, once they died and things of this nature. So one of their main objective was to deliver, you know, a lot of people out of that religious dogma, you know, and teaching that, you know, that the sense of pride and royalty, you know, and belongings that you come from. There's no royalty that they come from on the other side, you know. So that was one of their main objectives. So I would say no, they didn't fail us by not teaching us any American history. I would ask, you know, if you think they failed us by not teaching any American history, I would ask, why didn't any American Indians step up and teach people about American Indian history?
Oh, that's a good question.
I like to chime in on this. So Dr. Ben in the late 70s dropped serious knowledge on us as people. One of the most profound things he could have ever told us, especially as a so-called black man, was that the black woman was God. So if that wasn't some of the most empowering things that he could have ever told us in a time that when we were broken, to bring us back together, I don't know why we would even consider him to be some type of psyops hired by Europeans to even try to destroy us. He taught us the meaning of the Ankh. He taught us about how the pyramids in Giza was a black man's greatest gift to a black woman, because it represented her womb. That's why kings were buried symbolically inside of it, because it was about going back into the ether. So to think that Dr. Ben was not good for us would be just a mere insult just on our people in general. It doesn't matter what side you on, because at a time that we were so broken, and a man comes and drops knowledge about how we're gods in the flesh, and how that we should hold up the black woman to the highest standard, and that the first law, you know, of nature is self-preservation. So as a black man, if you don't preserve life,
hey, we finna eat.
Sustain life, we all die. So
let's get some flames in this
I
hole.
took those teachings and apply that to myself. And when I see nature, I can see the black woman, and I can see myself. Because when I think about nature, I can envision my mother. And he also taught that all black women are mothers, whether they have a child or not, because it takes a village to raise a child. I yield.
I would say, this is Lord L. I would say that the mainstream curriculum definitely failed our people
because they try to condition us that all melanated people here in America came over here on a slave ship. Scholars like Dr. Ben did take the initiative to inform us of our identities, but a lot of people don't necessarily subscribe to Dr. Ben's teaching. But I would more so say that the Rockefeller Foundation curriculum that was created for society was used to strip us of our identities so they could turn us into second-class citizens, and also to demoralize our people so that we'll never know our greatness and our true origin.
I would like to add to this brother Sakel that if you go to the Boy Scouts, just something simple. The Boy is esoterically through the American Indian construct. But when you go original Boy
Hold on. I'm finna, cause we live, hold up. Let me take this shit down. I'll take this shit down. Hey, what up, though? Hey, damn, man, my bad. I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, the sound went out. Man, I'm over here fucking with your boy. Yeah.
Hey man, in a real way.
Yeah,
Man.
he just jumped out of the check.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, we over here, man.
In a real way. Super healthy, wealthy.
Oh, yeah, man, we on camera.
Yeah, man.
And we got the big homie over here.
Money.
We thugging, man. Super healthy, wealthy, man. In the real end zone way, man. Just stepped out. We in the H. We in the H.
Put this shit together, man. 11:22.
11:22, man. Y'all, hey, man. We popping out. We going all the way up with it.
You might bring the boxing gloves.
They talking about to leave. Look, they in the check to leave. Yeah, that's soul food vegan. Y'all nigga, yeah, he cooking. Cause you know a lot of them niggas vegan. I was sell a lot of them and all them niggas vegan. So yeah, we gonna have to put a budget for the vegan. Huh? Oh nigga, well, I'm gonna have a budget for you, so yeah, we gonna work. Yeah, a lot of them they vegan. Man, appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all liked the bill. That's just one of the time nigga had to ride in the battle. You know, we cooked them. And the deal was whoever lose, you feel me? The deal was whoever lose, they can't whoever lose, they can't keep that weak ass doctrine no more. So that's what that was about. And y'all seen we came out on top. We smoked them niggas game. But y'all be cool like y'all be cool, man. I'ma hop out this hoe, man. Fuck with soul food for a little second. French Coco, what up? French Coco, man, get out my chat with all that. French Coco, get out my chat with all that. You starting trouble. In the real end John way, man. Nah, for real though, y'all stay this. Dang, he say the song's been out by 12 minutes. My bad, bro. I had just put it down and I told him, I'm like, hey fam, I'm still alive. I gotta watch this hoe. And yeah, I slipped up, but appreciate y'all being riders, you know what I'm saying, riding it out. But I'm figuring about it here, man. You know, we're out here in trade for days, man. We in trade right now, man. But y'all be cool like y'all be cool. 11:22, I'll see y'all, man. Y'all already know how I go. Bring it on in, man. As long as we got each other, homie, we don't need nobody else. You dig? Big in your business, man. Strength and honor. Any gang don't bang. Or get bang bang.